Hello, family. Thank you for coming. This is week 1 of the 6-week Becoming Sovereign educational course and interactive webinar. And I just want to introduce myself. I am Metaphysical Ash, your go-to spiritual mentor and resource center. Yes, so we're going to begin with an exercise. I would like to open your energetic channel so that as we go through this information today, you're receiving at a cellular level. So I will be pausing the recording and we will be going through an interactive guided meditation, and then I'll be connecting with you to see how you feel. So allow me to pause as I guide you. Now, how is everyone feeling? We set that intention and went through that exercise to open our energetic channels, specifically the 7th and 8th chakra centers. So as we go over this information today, try to be as still as possible to integrate what is going to come through to you. So as I speak and as you see the visual presentation that I've created, it's going to activate, and over the next few weeks, you will integrate what you need to know for your specific evolution and expansion. Does anyone have any questions? I have unmuted you if you would like to share. I also have the chat open. Otherwise, we are going to go right in. We're going to start with the presentation. Is everyone ready? Okay, let's go. So welcome to 6 weeks Becoming Sovereign. This is going to be a live educational course with Q&A. And for those who have joined the container throughout this presentation, I'm also going to be guiding you into specific exercises to open your energetic channels. So thank you for coming. Being in this container allows me to connect directly to your energy and assist in opening and expanding your consciousness. This is a very powerful quote by Nikola Tesla. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Of all things, I liked books best. The day science begins to study non-physical phenomena, it will make more progress in 1 decade than in all previous centuries of its existence. And I stand by that. I would completely agree. So throughout this course, we are going to focus on 3 specific topics: awareness, educating ourselves on the interconnectedness of all things. What exactly is happening within our universal time, space, matrix structure, and how is that impacting us? Accepting where we are, no judgment, neutral observation, and then accountability. That is where the shift comes in. That is where we really begin to claim ourselves and our sovereignty. Awareness. You are the center of your experience. So you, as you sit here with me, I want you to notice your spine. So notice your spine. That is your vertical access column. And from that spine, there is an overlay of sound, energetic harmonic structures that position you in space and time. So we are basically doing this cosmic dance. Every thought, every feeling, And everything you allow into your physical body contributes to your specific sound, to how your individual universe is constructed from the inside. And then externally, you create an alignment. So we're going through this at an individual level. So we are the micro. And then we're going through this at a macro level, universal. And we're going to be diving into this in this course. So taking a deep breath, opening your heart, connect with that vertical column, connect with yourself. This is where we really begin to reclaim our power. The outer reality is responding to your internal vibration. Every thought contributes to creating an emotion, and that emotion contributes to the energetic construct that is within you. Thoughts become these emotional imprints. And throughout this course, we're also going to be focusing on removing dissonant signatures. So those are inharmonic energetic constructs in your individual blueprint. The emotional imprint become your resonance and point of attraction or alignment. So the part of acceptance, we accept that we may have incarnate into challenging generational lines and programs. Observe this neutrally and know the part that you play. Release comparison and understand that all is perfectly organized in the structure of consciousness itself. So we all play our part in this evolution. Clearing emotional trauma and releasing your connection links to the past will free you from repetitive patterns of experience. So that is our multidimensional aspects. As we awakened, as we expand consciousness, we become more aware of our multidimensionality. And there are a lot of us who are actually awakened, but do not understand that what we are experiencing through the anxiety, through the depression, through the fluctuation in the emotions, the feeling sensations in the body, is a clearing and a collapse of timelines. So your essence existing in multiple places at once. The goal is to remain fully present in the now. So taking a deep breath in, notice the bottom of your feet, the top of your head, front, back, side to side. I want you fully connected as we go through this course. Present in your body. Release the mind, release the thought forms, come into the body. As we navigate this, you're going to get activated and awakened at a cellular level. You are made of light and sound. You can use sound therapy, light therapy, and nutrition to shift your reality. Your dominant emotions place you within experiences and opportunities. Thought forms contribute to resonance. So the construct of the human body hologram. What are our dominant signatures, the dominant emotional resonance? And here's the thing, mind will conceptualize emotion. It will give meaning to where you believe you are, but mind is the tool. We have to really dive deep. There's a big portion of humanity and society that has no idea what congruence and alignment even feels like, because we have been so disconnected and distorted through a majority of the human experience. And this is lifetimes after lifetime. So what has been passed down in the epigenetic memory is very much distorted. And human mind will tell you it's one thing, but is that true? We have to question everything. Awareness. So the interconnectedness of all things. You are connected to all, and all is connected to you. You are the micro to the macro that is our universe. So here we are coming into expansion of consciousness, this evolutionary period for humanity. And you might notice that certain individuals are expanding their consciousness to different angles where they're connecting with other forms of intelligence, malevolent, benevolent, but guess what? It is all you. So within self is connection to all. Just how far, how deep, how much do we truly know ourselves? Do we truly know what we are? So we are going to be diving deep into the structure of consciousness itself, which is you, into your cells, into the memory within you, so that you can align with your highest expression of consciousness itself. And it's your truth.
And Ash, will this also, with these exercises and with this knowing, this will help us remember who we are also, correct?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So this is going to be really activating course.
Yeah, I'm so looking forward to this.
So we're going to watch this quick video on YouTube.
The science, though, is the basis for all of this that
Correct.
we're going to be talking about.
Because we're finally arriving in
Maybe. Maybe we will watch this. Let's see here.
The science, though, is the basis for all of this that
Correct.
we're going to be talking about.
because we're finally arriving in a place where science is starting to be able to identify the mechanics of that concept of oneness. You know, it's one thing to say, you know, it's all one. It's another thing to be able to demonstrate how that is the case and understand the mechanics of it, which is really important.
Yes. So let's jump to something related here. Your research concludes that the universe appears to be a holographic structure in which each point contains the whole.
Right.
What are the implications of this? What does that
Well-
mean, just for people that?
Right. It
Don't
might
get that
sound
immediately.
really esoteric, but actually, you know, it's a function of a hologram. Is that you can cut it and cut it and cut it, and each time you're gonna get all the information that was there plus a resolution change. You know, every time you cut it, but if you have a hologram of an apple and you hit it with a laser, you'll get an image of an apple appearing in the space. Well, if you cut that plate in half, you'll still get the apple, and if you cut it in a quarter, you can still get the apple, but it's going to get more and more fuzzy. What I've written in physics is basically this idea that you have different scales, and each one represents a certain level of coherency of the information, and basically you have screening across the scales.
I want to pause this for a moment and just interject. So as he talks about that laser, as he talks about that light, as he talks about that distortion and the blurriness, that is also our soul. So the multidimensionality of the human, when the human being is not in full presence in the now, when all of your light is not fully present and consciousness in this now moment, you actually distort. So I wanted to add that in. So as we are navigating this course, you know, this is your gentle reminder, full presence in the now with everything you do. It gives you the greatest clarity and the most amount of electric energy to manifest your current reality all within the now. So I'm going to continue playing. I just wanted to interject and add that. Here we go.
That makes it so they have different energy levels, right? And the energy screening, the thermodynamics of this screening is actually what we see as mass, electromagnetic fields, and charge, and all this that makes up our reality. So that it's one thing, right? But it is continuously, changing at different scales. And so that all of a sudden, you get a sense that the system is interacting in such a way that at any point you could have the information of the whole. Now, when you write the equation, it happens to come out that way. That is, when you look at a proton, you can look at the function of that proton and mathematically get the temperature of the universe, the mass of the universe, the radius of the universe. You can get information about the universe because of the relationship of this one teeny proton to the rest of the universe, if you understand the scaling function and how things work. So it's holographic, meaning that at any point in the field, you can have the information of the whole. And it tells us that since we're made out of these protons, since we're made out of these atoms, and that makes up the cells and so on, that in some ways we have a path to infinite amount of information, that we have a path to understanding the fundamental structure of the universe and so on, like that we can understand reality at its deepest level, because clearly we're made of that same reality. And if we understand these mechanics, then we understand ourselves at a really deep level.
So a lot of times people will share that a drop of the ocean actually has all of the ocean in the drop. Is this analogous to what we're talking about here now?
Yeah, it's similar. It was in ancient philosophy and Buddhist thinking and many other different cultures. This idea of hologram, this idea of the small containing the big, and now we have a formalism that says, well, this is not just a nice thought. This is actually how things work, which is a big difference. Meaning, when it's a philosophy, it's wonderful, right? And it's a wonderful thought. It's difficult to integrate. How am I the chair? How am I, the tree over there? But when you sit under the lens of the mechanics of physics, and all of a sudden the math tells you how it's connected, how it's entangled, basically that you're part of this incredible network that connects all things, then it starts to make sense, right? It starts to make sense because everything is interdependent on everything else, and everything is related to each other in its evolution and so on. So all of a sudden you start to feel, oh yes, this concept of oneness and this concept of the small contains the whole, starts to sink in to you, and you start to realize, well, yeah, I'm 100 trillion cell, 50 to 100 trillion cell, right? Each cell is made of 100 trillion atoms, right? That's already a lot of information. It's a very complex system, right? It's 100 trillion multiplied by 100 trillion is a big number. And then you have each one of these atoms made of Planckian particles that are like billions and trillions of them for each proton. And so now you realize, wow, like the complexity of me is really, really high. And when you think of yourself, all of a sudden you think of yourself in a different way. Maybe you don't think of yourself anymore as just one thing, but you think of yourself as a composition of an incredible amount of information and energy. And when this information moving through the scales produce thermodynamic effects. And that's why you burn at almost 100, Fahrenheit 24/7 for like hopefully 100 years, right? And that is non-trivial. It's carnal engine. It's producing energy, and as you do things in the space, as you move, as you think, as you experience, as you feel emotions and all this, you're actually modifying, you're informing the space, you're informing the universe of your experience. And then the universe collective experiences feed you back more and more transformative experiences in which you adapt and interpret as well, and so on. And so you get this feedback between this oneness and you, which you're part of, and then you start to feel the impact you have and the importance of what you do and what you think and how you feel and so on. And now you get a sense of responsibility, and then that's a whole other story,
So I love that. I love what Nassim has to say. So knowing that, and this will go,
the most
this will
searched
connect.
topic in the world right now? Look. It
Sorry
is
about that.
Chat GPT.
Anyways, so the interconnectedness of all things, understanding and knowing that wherever you are, however you are perfect in the quantum puzzle. And that's going to help us as we go along this course with acceptance and then accountability. So as we shift, as we want to change things about ourselves. Does anyone have any questions or anything they want to add? Yeah, Christy, I just saw your chat in the text box. Yeah. And awakening looks so different for everyone. Not everyone is going to be hitting those angles of consciousness where they're connecting with ETs. You know what I'm saying? We all play our part perfectly. And even the individuals who are not quote unquote awakening, they still are part of the structure, playing their part perfectly as it evolves and expands. Kath, I saw you come off mute. Did you have something you wanted to share? Did I interrupt you?
No, you didn't interrupt me. I wanted to look at Christy's chat real quickly. Just hearing him, just like as an analogy, because he uses big words and explains everything. I am thinking in my brain, I'm thinking that the divine is like a giant spider, and he, sends out these beautiful webs, spins these beautiful webs, and they're all interconnected. And certain sections of the web are stronger and get different things, and that kind of stuff. And I just feel like that's also the way it is with the neuroplasticity in our brain and how it connects with our body. And when we get the syncretisms, when we get the all of that stuff, I feel more aligned with different things now. If I can remember that we are all one. If we're in this web and we're all connected at some point in the web, from where you are, that's just how I put it, like in a simple way in my brain to do it. I don't know if that helps or not.
Yeah, that's beautiful, Kath. I think a lot of people will resonate with that. Thank you for sharing. All right, we're going to continue. And I'm going to go ahead and share. I'm going to live stream us on Facebook. And let's continue.
Can I share that with people? Can I do that?
You can't.
Oh,
but
it's only in Align Your Divine. I think I just wanted to share with my friend Charlotte, but I'm going to send her a text while you're talking to join in Align Your Divine then.
Okay. All right, let's continue. So we're making progress through this course, the awareness. So as we just watched that video with Nassim, we are the micro to the macro. So you can see right here on the right-hand side, inside of an atom, and then on the left-hand side, the solar system. So you can see these connections. We're gonna connect a lot of dots. We are all of it, the interconnectedness of all things. It is basically layers and layers. You are the universe experiencing itself. You hold a blueprint for experience within the cellular memory of your body. So the exercise that we did at the beginning of the course to align ourselves and open up our cellular memory as we dive deep into these topics is going to be really helpful. So you see the torus field here. With each breath, okay? So as you breathe in, with each breath, you have the opportunity to clear dissonant signatures. And that is why throughout this course, I'll be checking in with you. So notice the front of your chest. Whatever supports you. Are you sitting? Are you standing? Are you lying down? When you take a deep breath, does the prana flow freely? Can you pinpoint any dissonant signatures within your field? Do you have tension in the low belly? Do you have tightness in the back? Breath helps remove dissonance from the body. So those signatures, which then speak to our outer reality. And it also connects even more deeply inward. So the vibration, the frequency vibration of every single system in our body, all the way down to the organs, even the blood. Epigenetics.
Ash, just for a second, when I have that exact picture saved on my phone, and when I explain to people that we are energy and have a toroidal field, explain that concept, we are energy, I use that. That is so good. I'm loving this course.
Awesome. I'm going to mute everyone while I go through this.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay. We'll have time for questions and to add.
Okay.
So epigenetics, in simple terms, epigenetics is the study of how your behaviors and environment can cause changes that affect the way your genes work. Unlike genetic changes, epigenetics changes are reversible and do not change your DNA sequence, but they can change how your body reads a DNA sequence. So this is how the outer world directly contributes to our inner expression. So we have an obnoxious, unlimited amount of expression within our DNA. But how is it going to manifest itself? How is it going to render us in space and time? Environment, substance, even the music you listen to, all impact how you create yourself and render yourself as a consciousness, as a being, as form within space and time. So morphogenetic fields contain the information necessary to shape the exact form of a living thing as part of its epigenetics and also shape its behaviors. And let me see here, I gotta move this little bar, and coordination with other beings. So morphogenetic fields at a micro level, your cellular structure and how that expresses itself and creates you in space and time. So that's, your organs, any disease, the way things manifest in your physical body. And then at a macro level, how we interconnect with collectives, people that we tend to resonate with in space and time. So the micro, the macro, morphogenetic fields are the instruction sets for reality. And we are also going to watch this little video here, expand on this.
Morphogenetic fields. Unlike electromagnetic energy interacting with biology through principles made clear in the well-researched field of organic chemistry, subtle energy and its many puzzling features make empirical categorizations a more complex study. Timeless descriptions of a universal life force informing the mind and body permeate the healing doctrines of all human civilizations, except for contemporary medicine, a philosophy blinded by its successes and the appeal of scientific materialism. Countless healing modalities that have been scoffed at by modern healthcare now have a scientifically valid foundation in physics to explain the presence of subtle energy moving within the body and how the mind creates health. What is a morphogenetic field? Morphogenetic fields are invisible forces that guide developing embryos into the magnificent, complex organisms that comprise the plant, animal, and mushroom kingdoms. The concept of a morphogenetic field was made popular by cell biologist Rupert Sheldrake in his 1981 book, A New Science of Life. But it was actually first introduced in 1910 by Alexander Gurwitch while studying embryonic development. Understanding how and why organisms take shape the way they do is fundamental to understanding life, the universe, and everything. This process of morphogenesis is still a huge mystery in developmental biology. Coming from the Greek words morphe, meaning form, and genesis, meaning coming into being, morphogenesis is the biological process of how a developing organism takes shape. Morphogenetic fields are hypothesized as the invisible pattern-forming agents which guide the biological process of development from embryonic globs of potential into fully structured complex organisms. It has become common to believe DNA and the genetic information stored in chromosomes are entirely responsible for the way an organism looks and operates, right? Well, not entirely. Genes are only responsible to code for protein synthesis. They are the building materials from which life develops. But morphogenetic fields are like the intelligence of the architect. They analyze the blueprints and explain what building materials go where. For example, our arms have the exact same DNA in them as our legs, so we need a proper explanation for why they look so different and how the body knows to form them in such distinct fashions. Humans, like all mammals, employ Hox genes, abnormally well-structured genetic instructions that determine a body's anterior-posterior shape and where body parts grow during embryonic development. The morphogenetic field of intelligence is what informs the body about how and when to use these genes. This invisible field is also the key to how amphibians like newts can regenerate limbs. This invisible pattern-forming agent, the morphogenetic field, instructs the cell to access specific genes in the DNA and mindfully generate and connect protein sequences to become the unique, functional, organic structures we see and exist as. They can be thought of as fields, just like the invisible fields produced by magnets, which can be seen clearly when you sprinkle iron fillings around them. Science has yet to find an iron filling, which clearly elucidates the flux lines of morphogenetic fields. But we can understand them as the functional organizing force of all organic life. Even though we understand the developmental mechanics of gross matter without acknowledging the presence of consciousness within the body, we have no way of understanding why and how our bodies have such innate formative intelligence. Since the dawn of scientific materialism, natural selection by random mutation has been the prevailing dogma. That organisms look and behave the way they do because of chance genetic variances that either made them more or less fit to survive their environment. Today, we know this picture is not complete. Natural selection is a theoretical understanding that models the survival of the fittest, but fails in addressing the arrival of the fittest. Natural selection cannot explain the emergence of the genomic and cellular features central to the building of complex organisms. Not only does natural selection fail to fit within a reasonable evolutionary timescale, it also does not address the genesis of the genes themselves, the original design and development of DNA. After he applied statistical analysis to study the origin of life, pioneering astronomer Fred Hoyle concluded that the probability of abiogenesis, or life arising randomly from inorganic material sloshing around in a primordial soup, was comparable to the chance that a tornado sweeping through a junkyard might assemble a Boeing 747. Evolutionary biologists must acknowledge the immaterial presence of intelligence as the primary developmental factor of all life. These invisible forces not only shape complex multicellular organisms like you and me, they also shape unicellular organisms like radiolarians. These single-celled organisms all share identical DNA, but are observed to form in different, complex shapes. Another example can be seen in flatworms. You cut up a flatworm into pieces, and every single one goes on to form a whole new flatworm. Regardless of what part of the flatworm you cut, it still creates a new head and a new body. What's even more bizarre and remarkable is that all of these new flatworms can even remember things learned by the flatworm they regenerated from. Perhaps the most fascinating example can be found in the single-celled organism Acetabularia, a genus of green algae. Referred to as the mermaid's wineglass, Acetabularia is a single-celled organism that can grow up to 10 centimeters in length, which is huge for a single cell. But what's even more incredible is they can regenerate an entirely new Acetabularia from a cutting of the stalk, recreating the entire form without any of the genetic information contained in the nucleus. A triumphant hint that genes do not control the process of morphogenesis. The chakras, the vital applications running the circuitry of our physical bodies, are like the magnets that produce and move these fields of morphogenetic energy throughout your being and organize the development and maintenance of your physical health and well-being.
What's this? This is the Buying in Motion color wheel, a simple
All
six-step
right.
system of persuasion that's generated
So-
over 86,000 leads and over $3 million in
Sorry about those commercials, YouTube. Morphogenetic fields and the subshell energy centers. Before we go into our exercise, and next week we're actually gonna dive deeper into the new instruction sets that have come onto the earth. These are vibrational frequencies. These are energies we've never worked with because of our alignment with the photon belt. So that's the Mayan 12-12 prediction. Next week, we're going to be diving into that. Right now, I want to walk us through an exercise to help connect with some of these higher vibrational frequencies, which directly contribute to how we create ourselves. So the work that we do on ourselves at an energetic level affects everything. Physical body is the form. We are the medium between Earth and cosmos. So we are the transmitters of this energy. We can pull in these beautiful frequencies that we now have alignment with because of the new yuga, the new cycle. So let me, I'm going to go ahead and stop the live stream on Facebook. This is just for those who have signed up for this course, and we're going to dive in. All right. Okay, ladies. So take a deep breath. All right. Oh, I'm going to take everyone off mute after that exercise. How's everybody feeling? So we are, throughout this course, going to be working with the subtle energy fields to reclaim our sovereignty, remove distortion, pull back any of those aspects of ourselves that are stuck in multiple places in time and space. And the information is activating and awakening. But the work that we do on ourselves energetically is going to be what creates the greatest shift. So how is everyone feeling after that exercise? Is there anything you want to share? Do you have any questions before we end week 1 of Becoming Sovereign?
I'm feeling great. I felt a lot of energy in my feet, like moving through and then around the heart area, clearing as well. And I really like the exercise you gave us to move some of that energy through.
I love that, Christy. So as you speak, you know what I'm getting for you? The opening in your chakra centers, those energetic centers, is going to connect you more deeply with the consciousness of Gaia. And that's going to help contribute to how you connect with the world of form for your manifestations. So if that's what came to you specifically this week, I would master it. So really getting out into nature, connecting with the grid systems and the intelligence, the organic intelligence of our planet, asking her to show you the way.
Okay,
And
great.
accepting her assistance.
Great. Yeah, there's so much. I'm in California and there's so much green here right now. We're finally out of that drought. And I've just been drawn to that, you know, all those beautiful greens.
Awesome. Amazing. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, so next week, week 2, we're going to dive a little bit more deeply into the awareness. We're going to go over the alignment that we are now aligned in the photon belt and what exactly is happening globally. So these new instruction sets that we're receiving, these energetic frequencies, are brand new alignment in this new evolutionary cycle that humanity is going through, how it's impacting each of us at a cellular level, how we can more easily navigate these shifts and changes, and then what is happening at more of a macro level. So that is going to be next week. I look forward to seeing everyone. And yeah, I think we're going to end. We're going to end for today.